Alright, so in this video I'm going to talk about setting up your blog post on your private blog network for linking back to the site that you want to rank. So number one, you always want to use unique content. So if you're getting articles written, you just want to make sure that you're creating those either yourself or you're outsourcing those to a place that's going to give you unique content. It doesn't have to be high quality. You don't have to pay a lot of money for those, but you just want to make sure it's unique. And as far as the length that your article needs to be, 150 to 300 words is fine. These don't need to be very long articles. Again, you don't need to pay a lot of money for them. For outsourcing my articles, I use a solution called iWriter. There's dozens of sites out there that you can use to get content written, but this is a great one. It's very simple, easy to use. They're very fast, they're very cheap, so that's what I use. And I'll have a link below this video where you can check out iWriter. And the main thing with your articles and your domains is that you just want to make it look as natural as possible. So what that means is basically, you just want to make sure that this looks like an authentic blog, a real blog with real, valuable content that's linked to another website, which will in turn be your money site. And so when you're doing that, it wouldn't be natural for 10 other blogs out there to link to the same content, on the same day at the same time and that sort of thing. So when you're creating your blog posts for each of your domains, you want to schedule those out, again, to make it look more natural. So you can do that by this publish immediately over here, click edit, and you can schedule when you'd like these posts to go out. So if you want to schedule different posts for different websites that you're trying to rank, you can do that. So you can publish those posts and make them go live on different dates. You can plug them all in on the same day, but you can have them set to release and publish on different dates. Now, one thing I do want to mention when you're creating these posts is that for each private blog, for each domain, for each expired domain that you have, you only want to link out to really about no more than 2, maybe 3 times to the same domain. So if your site that you're trying to rank as abc123.com, you don't want to have multiple links to your blog post linking to that domain that you're trying to rank, abc123.com. And if you're going to link to the same domain, ideally I would link to different URLs. So I wouldn't probably use abc123, the root domain, twice. If I'm going to link to it twice from the same private blog domain URL, I'll probably do abc123.com, and then the next time in another blog post that I published, I might link to abc123.com/homepage.html. And so that's something to keep in mind when you're building these private blog network sites, is that you can't just publish 10 or 20 articles. You can't just publish 10 or 20 posts on the same domain, linking all to the same domain. You don't want to do that. But the good news is when you're purchasing these domains, really you only need about 10 or 20 to start out with, and they don't have to be super expensive or high PR domains. They can be PR1, PR2s, and that's all you really need to get you started for ranking for affiliate products or business opportunities or launch jacking or local SEO. So that's a good number to start with about 10 or 20 domains. And then as you start to acquire more domains and you have more blog posts out there and you're trying to rank for different keywords, it's a good idea to keep track of all those, because it can get kind of messy with all these links out there and trying to stay organized. So what I do is I set up a spreadsheet and I just organize it by the URLs for my private blog domains, what the URL of my blog posts are, the keyword I'm trying to rank for, and the date I published it or the date it's going to be published. And so I keep track of that so I can know how many of my links are pointing to that particular website. And that's mainly so I can know in the future, about how many links or about how much power it's going to take to rank for certain domains, for certain keywords. And then if you're curious about how many posts are ideal or is too much to post to each of these private blog domains that you're setting up, I usually don't post more than about 10 posts to each domain. But if you do want to stretch that, if you want to increase that to 15 or 20, you'll just come down here under settings and reading. And by default, it says blog pages to show at most 10, syndication feeds 10. So you'll just increase that to 15 or 20 and then click save. So those are a couple things to keep in mind as far as the blog post and some tips for publishing your blog post to your private blog network sites.